YouTube fandom community, Beach Boys fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the Beach Boys 50th anniversary tour, Beach Boys Live, which came out in 2013. It actually charted at number 94 on the Billboard Top 200. Pretty impressive. Came out May 21st, 2013, about 6 months after the tour had ended, maybe a little bit more than that, after their reunion tour had ended. So this video is going to be a combination of talking about that era and a little bit about this album. I'm not going to talk about every song. We'll be here forever, and there's no reason to talk about every song because it's a live album and there's a lot of songs on here. So the Beach Boys 50th anniversary tour, holy moly, what an amazing time this was to be a fan. I'm sure a lot of you were Beach Boys fans at that time as well, and to see them get back together again and want to go out on tour and put out a new album and play all these songs, it was like a dream come true. It's something we never thought would happen. Because for years, we all read the stories about how Mike and Brian are suing each other and no one talks to each other and where's Al? It was always like, what's going on with these guys not getting on with each other? And when this tour happened, we learned about so much of the shady stuff behind the scenes that happens to these guys that gets in the way of them being friends and family and enjoying each other. And that's something I'll jump into a little bit later in the video, but as an album, this is a cool document because you get the guys together playing songs they haven't played together either ever or in a super long time. You get some real obscure ones in here, like, I say obscure, but to see Mike be a part of like Marcella or Sail on Sailor is something that he hasn't done in a while. And they do pet sounds, and they do add some music to your day where they all take turns singing it. They have Carl and Dennis on screens where they sing along to Forever and God Only Knows. You get David Marks singing Get You Back and Bruce Johnson singing Wendy. Some really cool choices of songs on here, but they also bust out some old ones like Don't Back Down. I mean, that thing was hidden away for a long time, so it's great to have that back in the set at this point. But you also get some really nice moments where they really zone in. Like, All This Is That is expertly done. I love this version of All This Is That. Very, very nice. And Brian does Carl's bit, which is like right in the feels. But they do A Little Girl I Once Knew. And the new stuff, like Isn't It Time? And That's What Got Me at the Radio. But, you know, Bruce doing Disney Girls is fantastic because you get him kind of doing this slightly different arrangement in moments where he takes a break and kind of lets the song wait for a bit and he jumps back in. So really enjoy that. You get Mike doing his classic Win, continuing for Be True to Your School, which is always a classic thing. But yeah, this concert, I mean, that's pretty much the entire album. It's a live album. What do you want? It's really well done. They combined their two bands, the Mike Love Band and the Brian Band, and kind of put them together. So you got all the classic people that you know from both of those groups doing this album. And they do make a really nice show out of it. It's a good show. And opening with Do It Again is kind of a cool move because that was a single they'd redone to introduce themselves back to the world and say, hey, Beach Boys are back. The boys are back. And so California Girls is like buried deep into the set list at some point, which was their classic opener for many, many years. But this album, it's a document that says, look what happened, and now it's over, which was the intention. The tour was never meant to go on forever. It was a finite amount of dates. Here's where it gets messy. So, well, let me back up. The Beach Boys have been doing a lot of press. They were doing like all the Tonight shows, like, you know, the Jimmy Fallon show and Jay Leno. They even did a QVC special to help promote the sale of That's Why God Made the Radio. And a lot of people think that's actually what helped it sell pretty well. They did a lot of promotion, and they were at a Rolling Stone magazine at that time. They weren't the cover story, which was super annoying, but they had a really big spread on the inside, which was great. Good to do pictures of the Beach Boys together hanging out. You know, there was a video for That's Why God Made the Radio where they make a cameo in the video at the end. It was just a really wonderful time to be a fan of these guys. I can't stress that enough. And when the tour was going to start happening, they laid out the dates and it was set. And then by the end of the tour, as it was wrapping up, this is where the rumors come out and this is where things get really messy because we don't know for sure who to believe, as is the story with the Beach Boys. Their management and their story is always a mess. So take this for what you will. Don't take it as, written in stone or whatever, but this is the rumor that Melinda, Brian's wife, sent Mike an email saying Brian's done. And that when the tour is over, no more dates. This is it. It's over. We're done. Because Mike tours under the Beach Boys name. So he was like, all right, well, I guess if Brian's done with this anniversary tour, I could start setting up different dates for my Beach Boys. Because they were playing different size arenas. Mike's Beach Boys play slightly smaller places. So it wouldn't work with the Brian lineup because more people would want to come. He kind of knows what to expect. So he started arranging dates for after this anniversary tour would end and getting that set up. And then that got completely misconstrued. And then another email came out, apparently from Melinda, saying, okay, Brian's on for more dates. But by this time, Mike had already set up these shows as not reunion tour dates, and that would really mess up a lot for promotion and for people expecting to see all the original Beach Boys going there and not seeing Brian and Al and everybody there. Would have been a big piss off. So that's where it gets messy. So at that point, Mike looked like the bad guy because he looked like he had kicked out the Beach Boys, which you can't fire Brian Wilson. He doesn't have the control to do that. None of them have the control to do that. And it went down even further from there because after that, Brian and Al filed statements to be, public statements about what was happening, and they had no idea. And then Mike was confused, and then everyone else is confused. So this is what ruins things, is people who think they know what's best for other people. If they just let the Beach Boys be themselves, and they've said it themselves, when it's just them in a room, things are fine. They get on well with each other. And they're going to have arguments. They're going to have this. They're going to have that. But guess what? Everyone does. And when you've been friends and family with someone for 60 years, not every second of that is going to be perfect. You're going to have miserable times. You're going to have great times. You're going to have times where things don't work out. Then you're going to have times where everything is awesome. Because that's humanity. That's life. So for anybody to expect harmony from the Harmony Boys, it's just not going to happen. It's just life. So the next time they do a tour, I really don't want their separate managements to mess it up. Because that's what happened. It got messed up. Brian was ready to do more shows. I don't know if he changed his mind or someone made up his mind for him and they said do this or do that. He kind of went along with it because he doesn't have to organize this stuff. He can just go to the show and play if he wants to. So, and people watching this video, if anybody in the Beach Boys or Brian Wilson's management watches this video, please, just let them do what they want to do. Let them be themselves. Put them on stage, just the five of them. Give them guitars. Let them sing. That's it. That's all we want. We don't want some big mess. We don't want more controversy. We're finally at a point where their management seems to have an idea of how to handle these guys after 60 years of kind of getting things flubbed up over and over again. They're finally promoting themselves correctly, and their image and their importance in the music world is finally getting structured to the point where it's going to be well documented here on out. We can only hope. So please, if you're watching this, don't mess it up. If they do a 60th anniversary tour, just let them go on stage, let them have fun, let them hang out, let them have a couple of, go to the restaurants, have fun, talk about the old times, make a couple new songs. Just let them be themselves. These people who get in the way of creative people drive me insane because do you really have their best interests at heart or do you think you know what they want? Anyways, the tour was 73 shows total. They did mostly all in North America, but they went to Europe and Asia and Australia, all over the place. I think they played in Singapore, actually. Or maybe not. I'm getting that backwards. But they played all over the place. It was their first full tour with Brian since 1982. But, Brian, of course, had been there on and off throughout the 80s and early 90s. But, it's one of those stories for me that it becomes that too good to be true kind of thing. Because in the moment, you don't know about all the stuff going on behind the scenes. And so as a fan, you're like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. They're back. They're back. They're going to make more music. We're going to have the Beach Boys together again forever. It's going to be great. It's like when they brought on Han and Chewie in the first Star Wars movie when they came back in 2015 or 16. And then they ruined that. So, like, that's how it feels. Like, they take it away from you. And then all we hear after that are months and months and months of constant negativity. And I've been a Beach Boys fan since like 1990, when I was like 2 or 3 years old. And I spent most of my life always hearing about the negative with the Beach Boys. We know the negative story. So to finally get a glimpse of like, wow, things are good. Here they are. They're hanging out. They're holding hands. My God, this is great. And then we read about all this garbage about everything falling apart behind the scenes. And it's like, come on. We got so close. So if they do a 60th anniversary, just please don't let anybody ruin it. Anyways, I got to see them on this tour, and it was magical. I mean, it was just fantastic, and the camaraderie on the stage was there. They were joking with each other. They were having a good time. It felt legit, and a lot of that is captured on here. You got, especially with Mike and Al. After everything that happened in the late 90s, early 2000s, it's good to hear them having a laugh together. It just felt good. I don't know these people. I've never hung out with them. But as anyone who's interested in a band knows, you feel a connection with these people beyond their music. You feel them as humans, and you feel like you want to wish them the best and hope that they have a great life. And so seeing them together like this, beyond the musical aspect of it, was just very heartwarming. And then to hear about everything being absolutely batty behind the scenes was a giant drag. But yeah. Here's the first CD. And my particular CD case is a little wonky, so make sure this doesn't fall out. And then CD 2 is gray. I'll show you the booklet here too. Maybe, if I can get it out. CDs are so hard. Here's the original hype sticker that came on the front. There we go. Over 2 hours of something. Hits from America's band, including California Girls, Surfin' USA, and Good Vibrations. So you got a really nice shot of the guys hanging out at the piano. Just nice to see them together. Got a picture of Bruce jumping. Absolutely killing it on stage. And then the credits at the end. And the inside back cover. I mean, as an album, is it something I put on all the time? Nope. But is it something that gives me good memories? Yeah, definitely. I do like how they set it up. You got Jeff Foskett in the beginning saying, the original Beach Boys, and he introduces all the guys on stage, and it goes, Brian Wilson, and the place goes nuts. I mean, it was that feeling, that euphoria was there. So as a document of the time, it's awesome. It's cool. Is there auto-tune on it? Yeah, probably. Do they sound a little bit older? Yeah, probably. Is it fun? Yeah, probably. So that's it. Beach Boys 50th Anniversary Tour. I have a hard time giving this thing a grade because of all the stuff that happened afterwards. Musically, I'm going to give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's a real clean sound. They give you the clean, unscruffy Beach Boys, if you will. So it's really precisely well played, and it's exactly what the audience would have wanted to hear. So, it's a little sterile, if you will, but there are some magical moments on here. Like I said, Little Girl I Once Knew, Wendy, Don't Back Down. They do the bicycle rider version of Heroes and Villains. Hear them do California, the California Saga song. It's a good mix of tracks. Almost every album is covered on this thing. So that's it. Long video over. What do you think of this album? What do you think of that tour? Were you there? Did you see them? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to talk about this thing with you guys. So that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been the Beach Boys 50th Anniversary Tour. Hope to see them on the 60th Anniversary Tour coming up at some point. So Beach Boys, if you're watching this, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And if you're watching this, anybody on the internet, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. My name is Giggens. Bye.